Hi, everyone. Welcome to our latest episode of Product Talk. I'm your host, Steph Rizzuto. I am on the product management team here at Automox, and I have a very special guest this month. I am joined by our newest member of the product team, Josh Rowland. So, Josh, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? People will be seeing you on this podcast more often. So let's get to know you for a second.
Yeah, thanks so much, Steph. It's truly an honor being here. I've been in this industry for quite a while now, both in product for centuries and certainly in the security and IT space for a number of years. Just joined the team about I'd say midway through January, so really have a couple of months under my belt, and it's been truly fantastic and a pleasure working with you and Emily and the rest of the product team. So much fun to see all the great work you all have done. Um, yeah, it's been a frenetic time, no question. But from a product side, it's such an exciting time for Automux. We're seeing so many really cool features come to market. Some really great feedback from our customers as they're starting to use it, and really just continuing to build velocity in some of not only what I believe, but what's clear from our customers as some really high value functionality, both in terms of automating their day to day, making their lives easier, but also providing the critical tools that they need to manage their endpoints.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. So we have decided to kind of deviate from the super cool theme that all the podcasts have this month because we are shipping so much functionality, I'd say over the next month, that I thought it'd be really cool to kind of highlight some of that, like be able to talk about what we're doing, how you're going to see it, and just give people like a quick view into what's coming if you're an Automox customer. If you're not, what you should sign up for because all this cool stuff is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many of these things are either halfway out the door or you will be seeing them soon. And exactly, Steph, what you're talking about in terms of some of these cool features and how quickly they're coming out is to let people know that we'd love to have them using them, playing with it, letting us know what's working, validating some of the work we've been trying to do. But also, if there's areas that you're liking to see some improvements on or some additional depth, as well as bugs. Know that these features, as they're coming out, it's always a work in process when it comes to product. And so we'd love your feedback. Please let us know how we're doing. Please let us know where you'd like to see us continue to grow and where other areas you're like, nah, maybe not so much of that anymore. Because we will again be following up all of these releases with lots of little pieces. You'll see lots of continued releases from us. Now and moving forward, and so your feedback is invaluable to us.
Yeah, and kind of like Josh said, I think, I've worked at a lot of different places. Not all companies are great at this. We've really tried to focus here on iterating, right? And really releasing features and then following up on those features. So you get it sooner, you can test it out, and then we can pivot if we need to. We've already seen that. We'll dive into one of the first ones we'll talk about, and this one is near and dear to Josh and I because we're both kind of working on it, and that's the Automox tray, right? So what we're doing here is we are revamping our end user notification system. We're replacing it with transient notifications, moving to a tray, and at the same time introducing a deadline-based approach as opposed to the deferrals that we're kind of leveraging today. And we're really excited about it. This is the beginning of something much bigger, right? It's more than just end user notifications, it's self-service catalog and all kinds of cool things that we can do now that we'll have the tray. Josh, you kind of came in, halfway through. Do you kind of want to talk about maybe some of the cool points that you've seen or how you think this is really going to help elevate the experience of our customers and their end users experience?
Absolutely, and I'm gonna certainly ask some questions about you because you've spent a bunch of time obviously thinking through this and getting us to where we're at right now, which has been phenomenal. Um, so when you think about a tray or a tray notification center, this is a piece of software that's going to go on the endpoints of all your devices, and it's going to be that interface to your end users. And so while we're trying to keep all those endpoints secure, one of the hard things that makes it really challenging is how do you do that with minimal friction to those end users? We've all had the calls and the tickets of why did my machine update at this time? Why didn't my machine update at this time? Then you hear from your CISO, and we're in the lucky position that our CISO is also runs product here, so we get it doubly hard, just for reference. But you get those calls from the CISO of like, are you compliant? Are all those devices? What about a um, significant concern about a software or CVE, and you need to be able to report on that. So it's that balancing act of making sure all those devices and endpoints you have are secure, up to date. At the same time, you want to make it as easy as possible for those end users so it doesn't disrupt them, worst case scenario, in the middle of a freaking Zoom meeting, right? So the last thing we want is our CEO giving us a call, letting us know that they were in the middle of a investor call and we had to update their machine when Zoom went down. So that's the really interesting balancing act. And where the tray comes in is it provides two critical things. One, direct communication with those end users so that they are aware of what's happening at their machine at the time. Secondarily, is it provides them a tool where they can, again, see it from this is through Automox, this is through your organization. It's a trusted source. Secondarily, going, you know what? Now is not really a good time. I just want to delay this. Can I do this later tonight? Can I do this tomorrow? And through the notification process, we're able to communicate that with obviously your configurations and settings. Communicate that to the end users, letting them know this is how much time they have. This is what is expected of them, and this is how the process will work. So, Steph, other questions for you in that? What are some other areas that you've heard in terms of some of our customer pain points in the past, and how does this really help solve that?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one that the first phase is going to target is that unexpected reboot scenario where, they're in the middle of the work or they have do not disturb on. And so they're missing our notification. So the tray is going to bypass that. And the other really big pain point I'd say that this one introduces is, I can't reboot now. And now the notification is gone, right? Like now it is a convenient time, but I have to wait until it reappears. So now it's just really putting the control into the user's hands within the parameters that you set, right? Like different organizations have different levels of comfort with risk versus that balance of end user experience. And so this kind of allows them to tailor that experience for their end users and decide what level of risk are they willing to accept, or, what's their comfort value versus wanting the end user experience to be pristine. So those are the ones those are the main ones that these are really targeting. And I could talk about the tray all day, but I do want to hit on some of the other really cool things that we have coming up. So another one that maybe, Josh, we could just hit on really quick is our update to the device details page.
Oh, yeah.
The new layout and all of the new data points that you're going to get about the asset.
It's
the
crazy.
redesign is awesome, but the additional data that we're capturing here, I think, is going to be really valuable to our customer base.
Yeah, I mean it's truly amazing, right? So we've got within our agent a footprint on all the endpoints, and with that footprint on all the endpoints, it is access to a lot of data about those endpoints. And each of you have different needs, right? And each of those endpoints have different pieces of information that may or may not be valuable to you at a wide scale or not. And so what we're able to do with this is one, creating a lot of this has been scaling on our end, trying to make sure that we can get all this crazy data in a meaningful, and we'll go into reporting in a second. Shh. Hopefully I didn't give that away too much. But to be able to provide all this data in a meaningful and insightful way that you could actually act on. And so what we're talking about is, what about not only just the operating system and all the different applications and what version of those applications are on the device, but what is the hardware on that device? What are some other applications that are running that you might not know of? How do you then manage those? And so what this is allowing is real insight into those endpoints. And then what we can do with that, and we'll start talking about, is once you've got access to that data, you can then make decisions on it, right? It's like, look, I don't want this application installed on that device. Or maybe I need to remediate this or that. And you can, one, get visibility into all this on almost a real-time basis, very quickly and timely, and then start looking at to what are those pieces of data are critical to you. I mean, all the way down to what's the battery life on this machine? What's going to happen? And it's really, I mean, the amount of data and power is phenomenal. And so a huge part of that is, one, making sure that we can provide that to you on a timely basis. Secondarily, being able to see it and report on it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Josh, you let the cat out of the bag.
Sorry.
I was going to hit, and that is our feature that we have coming that, like I said, this is really one you're going to see iterated on a bunch, right? We're going to release some new analytics, almost I'd call them, even not even reporting, like some new analytics that are going to help you prove the value of Automox, right? So
yeah, why is this so important? I mean, we've heard, and again, I'm speaking a lot anecdotally, but we've heard from a ton of you all that reporting is an area you'd like to see us grow on. And again, going back to things that we want to continue to hear your feedback on, this is one and a great example of we're here to listen and understand where we can best improve our platform for your all day to day. And this is one that I've heard over and over again, not only at Automox, but in other areas of the industry, is how can we do a better job providing the detailed information you need to do your jobs?
yeah, do your jobs and then be able to surface that up to your exec team, of like why you need Automox, because we make your lives easier, we make your environment more secure, but like how do you prove that, and how do you prove that you need this tool? And so this first round of analytics is going to aim to help people with that and to really show we're reducing our risk, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
And that view into your fleet. Are all the policies and all the worklets running as you expected? Are there areas that you might need to remediate? Do you have coverage for all your critical compliance needs across your fleet? Again, giving you that critical visibility that you need to, one, as Steph said, prove from an auditor, from a perspective that your endpoints are secure and they are working as needed. Or from an inventory standpoint, does it provide you the inventory information you need on all those devices? And or are there remediations you need to take? Can you target those remediations quickly and very, very pointedly? If there is a CVE that needs to be addressed quickly, which machines are they on? Oh, we now have a tray that you can work directly with those end users, again, in future state, to make sure that you can remediate and get those patches, those critical patches, updated as quickly as possible. Again, for the security and frictionless access for those end users.
yeah, for sure. Okay, Josh, we're running shorter on time because we have so many cool things we're talking about. So let's hit the last few things. We'll be brief, but we want to make sure that, folks understand how important these are too. Another really exciting thing that we're improving on at the end of this month is our remote control feature. And we're going to give, we have a tool in place today that meets a certain set of use cases. But with this new release, we're going to be able to hit a much larger variety and really make this a tool that you can replace your current one with. And, you don't have to go out and buy another one. It's that tool consolidation, right? How do I get the most out of the tools I'm using? You'll be able to have, file transfer capabilities, multi-monitor support, live chat. You'll be able to do attended and unattended remote control sessions, just all kinds of things that, we've listened and we know that that's what our customers need.
So we're hitting so many different areas. And so hopefully you're as excited as we are. In that not only just the short term of just providing additional functionality for your day to day, but the real exciting part is looking at all these different pieces and how they come together in the future world, right? So while we're talking earlier on in terms of how we iterate on these, that's some of the things we've been thinking about a lot of, but we'd love your feedback and thoughts on as well, is how do these come together to provide the greatest amount of value? Because when we talk about, you now have a lot more data on your devices. You now have an interface that you can use directly to your end users. We now have the ability to enhance our remote monitoring and control. And we've got a better ability to report on all these things. So once you add all those pieces together, um, God, this is a fun time. I'm really enjoying, joining Automox at the time I have, and with a wonderful team. And holy cow, there are so many great things in progress and really coming to fruition.
Yep. And we're happy to have you, Josh. You've been a great addition to our little team. Well, okay. I think that is all we have time to talk about today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next month for our Product Talk podcast.
Truly a pleasure, everyone.